3 analogies for understanding recovery from a traumatic loss. Anne Lamott, an author, said, "It's like having a broken leg that never heals completely, that still hurts when the weather gets cold, but you learn to dance with a limp." The author C.S. Lewis compared it to an amputation. He said, quote, "After amputation, either the stump heals or the man dies. If it heals, the fierce continuous pain will stop. Presently, he'll get back his strength and able to stump about on his wooden leg. He has, quote, got over it, but he will probably have recurrent pains in the stump all his life and will always be a one-legged man. Hardly any moment when he forgets." C.S. Lewis, when he reflected on his loss of his wife, said, "I shall never be a biped again." The third concept of grief recovery is a little more tricky to understand, but worth the effort, and that's analogized to addiction recovery. Because anyone who's ever been in a 12-step program may be in it for 10, 20, 30 years and still refer to themselves as in recovery. Grief recovery, analogous to an addiction, you understand it's not about where you end up, but where you become as a result of that journey of recovery. So recovery is not what steps you take, but how you take them. Recovery is not a destination, but it's a process. It's a process when it comes to addiction, and it is a process when it comes to grief recovery. Recovery isn't a list of do's and don'ts. Recovery becomes a way of living. Recovery is living, not just surviving. Recovery is hope in action. Recovery is a choice. Recovery is a mindset, and recovery is a lifestyle. Looking at grief recovery as a broken bone or an amputation or a recovering addict is fairly traditional. I've heard people who said that it's a lot like being back in the driver's seat of their car. They're once again in more control of their life. Or they analogize it to feeling like they've come out of a fog. But every brain works differently. If you're seriously recovering from loss, you may think about what analogy speaks to you. Our brain thinks in pictures, and it may help you to gain control in your life when you begin to analogize what is recovery for you. Because the definition of recovery itself is to restore oneself to a normal state, and that is never going to happen when you've had a life-altering traumatic loss. Your normal has been changed forever. Recovery does not mean giving up, giving in, surrendering, tolerating, failing, or being defeated. Please check out my other videos with information and insights to help make aging retirement one of the best times of your life.